Hi Amar.
Hi Vivek, good evening. How are you doing?
Good eve- I'm doing good. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Perfect.
All right, Vivek, thank you so much for your time and congratulations on passing PMP exam. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, Amar. And at the outset, I would acknowledge that a big part of this success I would definitely owe it to you. Because in the hindsight, every student that would have been a part of the boot camp that you have headed, he would definitely acknowledge that there is a process and a systematic way in which you approach the whole course altogether, where the takeaways become very simple and it is more of a process and a flow which is there rather than mugging up things. So, a big portion of success, like me, anybody who has gone through this definitely owes it to you.
Thank you so much, Vivek, for kind words. I really appreciate that. Yes, of course, but your effort, your dedication, the strategy that you choose, those are also equally important. Thank you so much, Vivek, for your time. Let's start with a brief introduction, your professional background, your product management experience.
Okay, so Amar, I have been a working professional for last 20 years. I work in a government sector. Primarily, I am basically into the defense sector, working with the Indian government. And being a communication engineer as a basic qualification, so I have worked across all spheres of the communication topology. And yes, we do have projects, we do run projects, but after going through this, I can definitely say that what we were going through is purely a predictive style, which mainly focuses primarily onto a process, which is a procurement. But a project altogether is an entirely different scheme of things. So my project domain specifically has been related to primarily the communications and the networking part of it.
All right. Thank you. So, what was your exam preparation strategy, Vivek?
Okay, I will have a lot of key takeaways from this. My journey with you started in the month of June 2023, and I was midway into my preparations when there was some exigencies related to my work, because of which there was just no possibility where I could dedicate time, and even if I could dedicate time for studies, I would have not been available to make myself available for the exams. So more than half midway into this, I had to drop it, and then there was certain emergencies and exigencies at home, because of which I had to further delay it, and then I lost track of it. So a lot of water did flow under the bridge by then, and in the month of March, I did master that whole energy altogether that I have to start afresh. So this is one thing which I would like to advise to everybody, that as soon as you finish your boot camp, you are fresh, you are in touch, and it is not as challenging as there is so much of hype in the market. If you go the right way, stick to the plan, everybody can easily go through this journey. So I roughly took around 30 days of casual reading. I just stuck to a few references. Rita Mulcahy book, which was primarily referred by you. Rita Mulcahy book, I took around 30 days of casual brushing over it in consultation with the notes that you had shared and the notes that I had made. And it was on 20, if I remember correctly, 22nd of April, when I decided that after finishing my book once and going through the exercises questions, that I should slot my exam. So after I slotted my exam, that by that time I could chalk out some strategy as to how I have to take it ahead. So then another 10 days I took it to quickly go over it, and then I could place a lot of gaps which had happened because of this 10 months of break which was there. And I could just once attend your Q&A sessions because of the timing issues. But later on, what I used to do, I used to run those videos on YouTube on a 1.7x speed, halt at the question, read it myself, make my answer. But after that, everybody will give a logic to it. And I used to at least listen to the right answers perspective, which was given by you at least twice or thrice, because that actually is the game changer. If you are not able to understand as to how you have to approach the, because the answer is right in front of you, you have to figure out the keyword, you have to somehow strategize as to find what is the problem. So your notes, the notes that I had made, only one Rita Mulcahy book. And in the last 2 days, I could find that there were a lot of gaps pertaining to agile and the hybrid model. So in quick 2 days, I went through the agile guide. So these, and I did your mock test, all those four mock tests twice, with rechecking as to uh, where am I going wrong.
All right, great. Thank you for explaining your detailed exam preparation strategy. So you said you spent 30 days in preparation.
Yes, 30 days, or
All
maybe
right,
30 to 40 days.
30 to 40 days. And on average, on daily basis, how much time did you allocate for studies?
Not more than 3 hours a day.
Not more than 3 hours. So we can say roughly 80 to 90 hours of dedicated studies
Correct,
required.
correct.
All right. How important and relevant were Q&A session? You talked about that, but if we compare the quality of question or level of difficulty with the real exam, how important was that for you to pass the exam?
The Q&A sessions that you run through, those questions are, I would say, will rate them higher in terms of difficulty. The exams are, I would say, not one notch, at least two notch lower than the questions that you throw before the audience to discuss and come to a solution. So definitely they're very, very helpful.
All right, great. And what was your percentage in the mock exams that you did?
So my first mock exam was not good. I was roughly around 62%.
Okay.
But by the time I did revise as to what my gap areas was, so in the second mock exam, I was touching 70, shy of 70, but balance to, I was comfortably 75 to 80. I was ranging there. But however, still then I realized that I was lacking into the agile concept, which I went through the agile guide. And I think that did help me a lot on the final day of the exam.
Absolutely. So this is what I call the simple exam preparation strategy. Take the course, submit the application, schedule your exam, go through the content in any form. If you like to read book, go through the book or review notes or the class content that I provide. Spend 10 or 15 days in reading that content and then solve mock exams. The best way is to attend weekly or daily Q&A session. If you can join live, wonderful. Otherwise, you have access to all, almost we had 55 sessions so far. So you can
Correct.
access all the sessions, and thank you for highlighting your strategy, like uh, listening to the question, pausing the video, coming up with the answer, and then listening to the explanation of all other attendees. And I like your idea of increasing the speed, because
Yeah.
spending 90 minutes or 80 minutes daily is challenging, but you can increase the speed. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Wonderful. So we talked about resources that you use and the mock exams. Okay. Uh, let's talk about the exam. What was the composition of the exam in terms of agile and waterfall or hybrid approaches?
So, okay, there's another thing that I did do while preparing for the exam is, because I also went through a lot of lessons, videos that you had recorded with other successful participants. So, just to get a hang of actually what can I expect, because it's an unknown, you do not know. So, what I did was my planning of mock exam, I never attempted 180 questions at a go. I always attempted 60 questions at a go, and I set a target that I should not dedicate more than a minute for a question so that I have adequate time. So, four mocks and four revisions. So, eight mocks. And like I mentioned, I could finish my exam 37 minutes prior to the scheduled time. So, I remember last when I was left with 31 questions, I had roughly 64 minutes on my timer, which was left. So that is one thing I had done. Second is a lot of, now the question is, on the exam you might find a question which will give you a situation which has a hybrid thing. But what are definitives which are not going to change, and it might be they're asking on a cost perspective. So the language might appear to be agile, but they are asking specifically about a predictive one. So if I go by the language terminologies, at least 60 to 70% would appear to relate to an agile one. But the meat of the question which will deal, so there was a fair balance. Roughly around 30 to 40% would be agile, but by and large, mainly it will be predictive.
Absolutely correct. This is what my own experience says. Like language, if you look at the language, it looks like 70, 80, or 90% of the questions are agile. But in actual, in terms of conceptual understanding, they are roughly 40% or somewhere around 30 to 40%. Absolutely right. And one thing that you mentioned about time management, amazing. Like if you want to manage your time in the exam, then you have to practice. And
Yes.
it's a good strategy. If you can't sit for 180 questions or for 4 hours, then divide your exam into three sections and time your quizzes. If you don't time that, then it would be really challenging in the exam.
And I would also like to suggest to anybody who goes through this recorded session is those Q&A sessions, they should focus on uh, the rationale that you give at that time. So there are many times they'll say, you have mentioned what exactly is the problem. People get stuck into those 60 words or 40 words that are given. So if everybody starts listening carefully to that meat part of the conversation, it becomes so easy. When you read the question, you immediately understand what is the problem, and then by plain simple logic of elimination you would find that two are not the option. So then you have to look at two. So that is what helped me a lot in terms of my time management, because I could immediately figure out what exactly is the problem and what is I have to look for out of these two. So that was a big help for me in terms of time management.
That's correct. If you find the keyword, then it becomes easier for you to find the right answer. So yes, look for keywords. That's
Yes.
the first thing that you need to do.
And even your mock exams, after solving all those questions that you do wrong, or you are not sure, you have by elimination. So whenever I used to attempt such questions and I'm not sure, I'll underline my answer. So I will not take it as correct, I will take it as like a guesswork. So I'm not clear with the logic. I will read the explanation mentioned so that I do get that clarity that okay, my rational probably is right. I do not have confidence because I have, that's a gap area for me. So there was so much of similarity between the pattern you have devised your mock test, although they would be a little higher in terms of difficulty level, and on exams you will not find that. But if somebody is very religious with those mock exams, reads the explanation, does not even do a review of Rita Mulcahy book, and he has been attentive towards your 15-20 days, is I after doing this I can say 15-20 days should be good of a continuous study for him to pass.
Absolutely. We just completed the 100% of the course content in these mock exams. And now we are having mock exams in which we cover questions from the entire course, like mixed questions from all the topics in one Q&A rather than topic-wise discussion, because we have done the entire topic-wise discussion. So yes, if somebody goes through those sessions, 100% of the course content is covered, and each question is a new concept. That's why I say at the start of each session, like it's not an evaluation, it's a learning process. Each question
Yes.
is a mindset. Each question is a concept that how you should approach the exam. All right. Vivek, what are the topics that you think students should focus on the most?
So if I look at the exam, I will say people domain is important because I could figure out a lot of problem where it makes a lot of significance when you say that you have to step into the shoes. So that mindset of a servant leader is important. So many times you would find just by having that mindset where you're a facilitator, you want to get rid of the impediment. So communication, I could find a lot of interesting questions on the exam. There were certain tricky, two, three tricky questions in terms of procurement as well. And they were very connected, process oriented questions from scope and schedule. So if somebody's, what I did wrong was my during my casual first reading was I tried to read every process and domain as an isolation. But my second read was I tried to build a mind map as to what flows, what overlaps, how it happens. So it once that is close to the visualization, then a lot of things become easier. There are few questions which are very direct, but that might need a little bit of rehearsal as to you should know what is an input to a process, what can come as an output. Though that might need a little bit of initial mugging up. But so yeah, people domain was interesting. Communications, I could find a lot of interesting questions where people can go wrong because they appear to be very simple. And procurement related to cost, there were no calculations involved, but there was just interpretation of your CPIs or something. So similarly was the match the followings. There were a couple of interesting questions from integration as well, and agile questions were also interesting ones. So I feel somebody who does not have an exposure to agile, out of my experience, I'll say he should definitely plug that gap. That will give a lot of confidence while the person is attempting the mock exams.
All right, absolutely. And this is the pattern that we have been seeing, like people domain, stakeholders and communications, agile, risk management. So these are
Yes.
some of the topics where students should focus on. All right. Were you confident during the exam that you're going to pass the exam?
Oh, this is an interesting question. If you remember, I had texted you that I had all fared well in the Rita Mulcahy exams, but I am still not comfortable because it's a fear of unknown. But after doing the mock exams and redoing the mock exams, that day I had a very calm composure. I said that everything that is available, the best resource available, I have done my bit. So I don't look at a situation where I might face the worst, and even if it comes to worst, I can live with the worst. So uh, it was comfortable that day, and the process at the center also was very seamless. So altogether, I think there was nothing for me that day to panic.
All right. And was there anything challenging during the exam or something that disturbed you or you found difficult or any topic?
Yes, I did struggle in a few questions which were related to resources, specifically when it came to the hybrid model. So there is when I say that now hybrid has both adaptive and at which point of time what is a constant, what you cannot shift. So since there was a gap, so it was a lack in my preparation at that point of time where I found challenging. But what I did was such questions I would mark something which I'll feel, flag it, and not spend time over it. Just move ahead, come back, and then try to find which is the best. So there were times, but there was none of the questions where I was blank, that I could not understand what is asked. I might not be able to figure out the right ones because there's time pressure, your own created a little pressure, but there was nothing which I had not read.
All right. You talked about time management. Were you able to manage your time during the exam?
Absolutely. So my first section is the one where I would have saved out of, I remember you saying 80, 70, 80, do something like that. So I would have finished my first section in like roughly 60 minutes. I have taken breaks like a short 5 minutes water break, back started afresh because I had tuned myself and practiced myself for 60 questions. So I did not even think twice to not take break and continue with, even if I am saving time. So I used to take break, reset myself again, start. So I feel it was comfortable. And what I did next was I chose the first slot available at the center that day. So although it is absolutely comfortable at that point of time, there are no disturbances. But when I was at the center and I was alone, so maybe these small things might have also made me a little more comfortable. But there was absolutely no pressure in terms of infrastructure or the environment at the exam center.
All right, great. Uh, Vivek, how did you stay committed to studies during those 30 days with the family, friends, job, and other commitments? How did you find time for studies, like daily 2 to 3 hours?
I would say it was probably a repentance mode. I thought that despite all commitments that I had, I probably did succumb to the excuse that okay, I am running on a very tight leash, so I should bend it. I had good tutor. I still remember probably this a few things that you told. I will never forget. Like me, like you will say if the first process is plan scope management, so you will tell what exactly is an outcome. It's going to be a plan. What will it entail? So there are certain things in the way you have taught. So I thought when I had such a good tutor, I had a good grade of notes available. I had some preparation. I did find an excuse path. So it should not be challenging, and it would be a waste of effort for me and for my tutor as well if I his expectation level is only for all his students to follow, just stay committed to the path and just finish it. So that probably emotionally pushed me, where I said I should, even if it is zero, I should start from zero, but my zero would at least be 10%. My retainance of the boot camp would at least be 10%. So that was the push which forced me, and luckily that happened. I started because I almost finished the exam close to that validity period of a year.
All right, thank you. So, Vivek, people say that PMP exam is the most challenging exam or very difficult exam. What's your take on it?
I would say it is not difficult if you choose the right ingredients. So if you take as a conventional exam like we give in school and colleges, where you have a subjective analysis to write, so you have to mug up something and do there's nothing mugging up here. So first of all, somebody has to make this very clear into head that this book, any book reference that they use, they have to make a flow from whatever they read. And actually the answer is right in front of you. If you're able to figure out what is the problem, it there is so much of hype in the industry about this exam, but I have taken a lot of time. There are far more students, and you have tutored so far who have done it like in 15 days, 20 days. So they are a testament to the fact that this exam is not difficult. Your approach has to be right. Your ingredients have to be right.
All right, thank you. Uh, Vivek, second last question, probably my favorite question. You have gone through the entire process, you attended the course, and then you thoroughly prepared and passed the exam. What do you think how important this exam is in terms of learning and your personal and professional development?
I will say it is very helpful, not only with the perspective of in whichever field and domain of expertise you are working at, even in your personal life, the way you will start approaching a problem will make a difference. maybe it is too early for anybody to believe into this statement, but somebody who's done this certification, he has gone through this process, he would definitely find a change in his approach towards problems. So it's a mindset which it creates. So I will definitely say that this is a very, very helpful certification, and people should be motivated not just by the perspective that it is going to give them a career growth, but it is definitely going to leave a good, lasting impact on their personal lives as well.
All right, great. Last question, Vivek. What would be your advice to someone who is listening to this conversation and thinking to kickstart their preparation?
I would, for the first instance, I'll definitely say that they should. There are a lot of tutors available in the industry. Everybody will there have their own liking, but by my own experience, I would say uh, every student associates themselves with a particular type of teaching. But I would say your type of teaching is phenomenal. You will make the entire education as a seamless flow. So whoever tutor they stick to, they will be best in their domain who will be delivering. Just commit yourself, make a target of 30, 35, 40 days, not more than that. Dedicate 2 to 3 hours, chalk out a plan, and don't find excuses to deviate from that plan. And rest will all fall together in place. This
All
exam
right.
is not difficult. It is just the flow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Vivek. Thank you for detailed explanation. This would be really, really helpful for anybody who would be watching this. And I think one of the contributions that certified PMPs, especially my students, they are making is by documenting their learning experience, because I receive a lot of messages on daily basis. Students say, we are not your students, we haven't enrolled in your course, but with the content that is there in the on the YouTube channel, that is really, really helpful in the form of, lessons learned, in the form of lectures, in the form of Q&As. So Vivek, thank you so much for your time, and I wish you best of luck in your future endeavors. We will be in touch, and just you can reach out to me anytime whenever you want to discuss anything, you need any help, or whenever you want to share anything with me.
Thank you so much, Amar. I would definitely appreciate your efforts. Without your tutoring, probably it might have been a little more challenging, but thank you for making it easy, not just for me, for a lot of aspirants like me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Vivek. Thank you so much. Take good care of yourself. Good night.
Thank you. Likewise. Good night. Thank you.
Bye.